Hello and welcome back to the Film Appreciation Podcast. I am your host, Nick, and as always, I am joined by my enjoyable, pleasurable co-hosts.
I'm not going to lie, he did just read those off.
Yeah, I have the synonyms for nice, right?
Running out of ideas, Nick, are we?
We're 18 episodes in, man, so no wonder the well's running dry, bro.
Speaking of running out of ideas, Nick's going to introduce...
Wow, that was a very quick intro.
Wow,
my
wasn't
God.
it? Man, this guy just
Straight to the point.
He wants to get out of here, man. Jesus.
Don't worry, I enjoy your company.
Right, well, yeah, I guess. No time for small talk, kids. We're right into the shit. Deadpool and Wolverine. We're only like a month late for this. It deadass came out, middle of July.
I don't even want to hear what
it's like the end of August, bro.
That's crazy.
This is so fucked. Anyway, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's directed by Sean Levy. Don't know who that is. And
He's done a few things, I think.
were they actually decent?
Free Guy, Night at the Museum.
Oh,
Real
yeah.
Steel, crazy movie if you're 12.
Haven't seen any of that stuff.
It's also got Hugh Jackman. Anyway,
Deadpool and Wolverine, pretty explanatory. It's a movie with Deadpool and Wolverine. And
God, they're creative.
it's got Ryan Reynolds in it as Deadpool. And it's got Hugh Jackman in it as Wolverine. You're welcome. It's also got a bunch of other people in it. Like, don't really care to mention them because there's a lot.
Channing
Tatum. That actually...
He was the best
mentioning.
performance in the movie,
Evans,
actually.
Henry
Chris
Cavill.
Evans, yes, that's all worth mentioning, actually. Matthew McFadden, who I love from Succession, but you bitches haven't seen that. But Succession is utterly glorious.
Jennifer Garner's in there somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, so Deadpool and Wolverine is, in fact, the third Deadpool movie, but it's called Deadpool Wolverine.
Is it going to be the last one,
Rounding
or
out
they're
the
going to
trilogy.
do a bunch more?
Nah, they're not doing
It's
it.
done.
Real?
Ryan Reynolds said he doesn't want to do another one. So,
Seriously?
yeah,
I thought he loved it.
he'll be in all the Avengers movies.
Well, bowing out on a low.
On a
way-
low?
No way like it.
What?
What?
Did you say this is bad?
No way.
Oh,
lost
shit.
spirit.
Just knocked his laptop.
That's so good.
My God.
Wait, so you didn't like it?
You know.
You're ruining the structure of the fucking
okay,
podcast.
sorry.
Shut the
Yeah, this
fuck
guy...
up, bro.
Marlon, bro.
Bro, shut up, bro. This guy's cutting.
This guy-
he's cutting out all the.
It's been
he's beating around the bush.
It's been like a month since the podcast. He just forgot how to do it.
Bro,
Jeez.
that just shows how behind we are.
Hey,
It's just
Marlon, what's
fucking-
your rating?
Let's go to the next one.
Anyway, so my pick for next month.
Your pick, gun.
He's really lost a lot.
Right. Well, so as I always say, this is a movie. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah.
Actually sticking to traditions, Marlon.
Look,
What did you think of this movie? Go.
I'll say I thought it was enjoyable. You know, it was funny.
Pleasurable.
Yeah, pleasurable.
Gratifying.
Satiating.
Yep.
All of the adjectives you want to use.
Yep.
But, you know, as is the classic thing for a Marvel movie at this stage, they're just kind of nothing. Who cares about the movies? And this movie tries to escape that problem by being like, yeah, I know it's a shit movie. We're so meta. Ha 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 ha. And you're like, yeah, funny. And that's it. It still is a shit movie. And I don't know if being meta and breaking the fourth wall means that you're like so much smarter and like you're in a shit movie or something. I don't know.
You see, it worked in the first two Deadpool movies because aside from the fact that it was meta, which was relatively new.
Do you think this is the worst one?
Oh, by far.
Oh, really?
By far.
That's interesting.
Not that I've seen the first two in a while, but I do recall enjoying both of them a lot more.
Right.
But it works a lot better in the first two movies because they also hold up outside of the fact that a lot of it is addressing the fact that it's meta.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I totally see this movie as being like, all right, we've done two like kind of like pretty decent scripts, you know, they're quite tight. They're like actual movies. This one, Marvel, everyone is sick of it because it sucks now. Let's just take the piss and write the funniest possible thing we can think of. And they just were like, all right, the story isn't that important. What's the most basic plot we can get? All right, multiverses is the thing because it means we can get Hugh Jackman back. What happens in the multiverse that's already kind of in canon? Oh, there's people controlling the timeline. All right, what do we do? There's some device we have to stop. It's like the most classic, like, you know, there's nothing interesting happening in the story. It's just a matter of, is it going to be enjoyable for the audience, such that Marvel movies can be continued to be made.
Yeah, that makes
Hence the whole
It's-
Deadpool is Marvel Jesus joke.
My feelings on this is actually kind of weird because I thought it was really enjoyable. And, like, in a way, for what it's trying to be, I actually think it's pretty good for what it's trying to be. But it's also shit at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not trying to be a proper film. Like, you can just tell. Like, no one with a brain would be like, this is a really interesting, complex thing. It's basically, I would honestly put this on a level like this is almost a stoner movie. Like, this is a movie, it's like a buddy cop movie. It's like, we basically have two really great actors, which they are in their respective roles, and they have great chemistry with each other, and they've always wanted to see these characters on screen. And so they just write them into different situations that are insane, so we can just have good interactions between the two of them. And that's the only reason you're buying the ticket. No one actually came to this because they're like, I really wonder what's happening with...
the Marvel timeline, right?
Yeah, and the bald bitch and all this sort of stuff. Like, no one cares. We just want to see Deadpool and Wolverine. And that's why I kind of like it, that they straight up just call it Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what it is.
Simple, straight up.
And you're just there to see these two characters interact. And I thought that it's just trying to entertain you. You know what I mean? It's not trying to be something like June. And the reason I bring in June is because the reason June's different is June somehow manages to be a really great blockbuster, entertaining, does everything, but also is an artful film.
Excellent, yeah.
And is really complex and really interesting. This isn't. This is just one side of that.
The difference between a product and an actual attempt to make art. But then again, like I would guess that the guys or the people, sorry to be sexist there, making this movie were thinking like, oh, it's still like a genuine piece of art. It's just our goal is totally different. It's not about like getting the audience to think. It's just about, having a good time.
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and all that are legitimately super passionate about the film.
Exactly.
And I don't think they wrote it like it was a paycheck movie and they were being like, I don't think they just turned up for the money for this. I think there actually is a lot of passion and effort behind it.
Well, Ryan Reynolds is a very comic book, sort of centered person. He loves them. He grew up on them, more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up on comic
I
books.
didn't either.
You read a lot more than I did.
I read 6 Batman comics, that's it.
More than me. But the word you used before is entertaining.
Yeah.
And I find it more so entertaining than it is enjoyable. But just like in the Green Mile, like, I'm tired, boss, right?
Right.
It just suffers. The problem is it suffers from everything previous that Marvel's done in the last 4 or 5 years, more so than it itself. Because there's only so much multiverse you can do. There's only so many times you can bring in cameos to sort of entertain the audience and to sort of push these plots forward without having to do any hard work in itself.
Yeah.
And I say hard work, obviously they did do hard work, but it's, they're just...
It's exhausting in its attempts to be entertaining.
Yeah. I get tired really easily. The humor hits once or twice and then you're laughing because everyone else is.
Right.
And you're rolling around in your seat because it's all in your face. There's no time to breathe.
I'm trying to remember how much I was laughing during it. I can't think of any moment.
You had several.
Yeah, I just can't think of any moments right now like that were like super funny, except for like the Channing Tatum when he was like
Jamaican.
The accent was just the best thing I've ever heard, because that is clearly like he rocked up onto set and was like, "Alright, I'm just gonna do this dumbass accent and nobody's gonna care."
It's like in 21 Jump Street.
Yeah,
or 22.
Just he definitely rocked up, tried it, and they were like, "Whatever, just do that. That's sick." And then he was like, "Okay." But I don't know. It's It's a
difficult thing. I think I said this to Marlon like after, which is that obviously this is not on the same level as peak MCU movies, because everything post Endgame has essentially, after No Way Home, which was good, and as me, who's someone who is a huge Spider-Man fan since I was a little kid with all the movies, that was a very satisfying movie. But at the end of the day, the problem with that movie is it started this whole trend of just movies, instead of having a plot, it's just cameos to satiate the audience. And like, this is the same thing. Like, there's still so many cameos and shit in this, which I just didn't really care about at all. Like, I'm too old for that at this point. I'm just like, okay, this guy's in it again. Great. Wow. All right, dude. peak Marvel, the reason why it's so good, and I think the reason why, they've never been able to attain it again, is because when you watched Endgame or something, the reason people were freaking out is because there were moments that were built up throughout the series that people wanted to see, and it was actually a character moment that was really exciting, like Captain America picking up Thor's hammer was actually just something that people wanted to see. It wasn't just a shallow cameo where it's like, oh, this is just a person you've seen before. Oh, great. Okay. So it's difficult because I also did find it enjoyable. Like in terms of recent Marvel shit, this was a lot better. I mean,
well, what else has there been?
I don't actually remember.
There's Multiverse of Madness, which was shit.
I don't think I've actually watched a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I've been avoiding them like the plague.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, well, I never watched Captain Marvel 2.
No, didn't watch.
Ant-Man
I didn't
3
even know
was
that came
so
out.
bad.
What was the one with Doctor Strange's partner?
What? Oh.
Huh?
Was it Wong?
Doctor
Wong?
Strange as a
What are you
partner?
What are you talking about?
You know the no, not partner relationship,
Oh.
but the other.
With Wong?
Wait, the guy who went evil?
I don't know who went evil.
I don't know, dude. I have no
Anyway,
idea.
but there's
I
like
don't
a-
care.
I don't know
Yeah,
either.
It's like the Stones or whatever, some bullshit.
I have no idea.
But
Got no idea.
yeah, look. The other reason I didn't enjoy this is because I don't get a lot of the references. I didn't grow up on X-Men
Okay,
like-
yeah, see, I did.
like you did.
Yeah.
I didn't. There's a Fantastic Four in
Yeah.
there. I watched it maybe 15 years ago and never again.
Yeah.
Whenever it came out.
Yeah.
I'm not versed in the comic book lore.
Yeah.
I'm only versed in the MCU timeline through film.
Yeah.
I was much more of a DCU reader
Yeah.
and watcher when I was young.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, there's some characters. Oh, they do something cool. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I don't know why
Yeah.
they're here. I don't care why they're here. I don't care who they are.
Yeah. And like some of them, like Elektra was in it.
And Blade.
I saw the Daredevil movie years and years ago. Didn't care. Didn't remember who she was. Blade. I've never seen a Blade movie, so I super.
When Blade rocked up, though, I was like, oh, that's cool because it's Blade.
But I didn't.
He's
I never.
fucking
I've never seen
sick,
him.
dude.
I was like, I had no idea who that was.
Is he the black gentleman?
Yeah. Try to say that in the least cancelable way. the coloured gentleman.
No, I think that's bad, actually. I think you're not allowed to say that. It's
Jesus
that's actually, I'm
Christ.
pretty sure, a slur, Nick. So you just got us cancelled.
What coloured?
No, I don't know.
I don't think
I'm just,
so.
I'm just pointing.
I don't think so, bro.
I don't think they like that anymore, though, because it has like that connotation.
What?
Like the usage of coloured, I think was they prefer person of colour.
Can
Like
I just say
I don't
this?
know.
You want to hear something that's fucked up? This is fucked up. Like you scroll on Instagram and you sometimes see those reels and they're like flashback reels. Like you were clearly an early 2000s kid. If your school was like this and they show fucking tiny teddies or whatever the fuck. I was looking at one the other day and they were just like, can you believe that when you were a kid and it was a pencil, that this pencil used to be called skin color and it was the white pencil?
Yeah.
That was a real thing. It was
that
written.
was
The beige one.
It was
Yeah.
actually
Wait, was
written
that its
as-
actual-
It was
Yeah.
written on the pencil as skin color. I was like, whoa!
I
what
do
the
remember as a
fuck?
kid. That's actually like that was erased from my memory. But I do remember always saying, "Have you got the skin color pencil?"
Dude, brother. What
But the weird thing is, it wasn't like my class was just white people either. There was like a lot of
Yeah.
like. I went to like a very
Multiracial.
multiracial. Yeah. So that's actually a good point. I never thought about that
Dude,
as a kid.
so fucking bad. I couldn't believe it. I saw that pop up. I was like, whoa!
That's pretty
Anyway,
horrific though. Actually.
Deadpool, bro.
Back to Deadpool. I'm searching up now. There was one cameo I enjoyed. More so than...
X-23.
well, no, that's nice because it's from Logan. I'd only just watched Logan for the
Logan's
first
a
time.
good fucking movie.
It is. And I'll get onto that in a
haven't
second.
seen Logan.
But
good.
Juggernaut, the big rock,
Oh, yeah.
that's cool because I
Okay.
think mainly because I relate him to a DC character.
Bane.
No, there's another one.
Oh.
But there's a very similar one, which I used to read about all the time, and that was awesome.
Right. Okay.
But with X-23 and Logan, I would have much preferred if they were just left alone, end of the arc, leave it like that. And I get because it's multiverse and timeline, they're able to pull it out and bring it back
Yeah.
without affecting the original film. But it just, there's no sort of, there's no weight or any sort of seriousness to the consequences of any of these films anymore, like there were with earlier superhero films.
Yeah, the multiverse stuff means that the stakes.
No, I do.
seem to-
Well, there's no stakes, and they've also in this movie I noticed removed basically any sort of pain that Deadpool or Wolverine can go through because like Deadpool would get stabbed or like have his hand cut off,
You'd be just making a joke or some shit.
but it would take in the other movies it would take like a week to grow back. Or if Logan got shot in the head, he would be passed out for like 5 minutes and then he would regenerate. But in this, they're just taking bullets and knives and they heal instantly. Like, it was almost like watching someone play a video game with those two characters where they were just unstoppable.
Yeah, well,
You know?
I guess suppose like I can't care for this film when there's no tension. When there's no tension.
Yeah.
When they start, oh my god, this thing, he's gonna get through with the machine. To destroy the timeline, to destroy the sacred timeline.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he's not gonna win.
No.
And it's like, well, come on.
Imagine,
all this is built up.
they did just
I don't know,
fucking
I mean,
die.
I would have much rather that.
That would have been awesome.
I would have
dude.
much rather that. But
Or the other thing as well is like they had that totally pointless Deadpool fight against all the other Deadpools,
Yeah.
which is just there to be like, holy shit, look at
how
all these
many
Deadpools.
Yeah.
It was a one take thing though, which I guess was okay.
Was it? Wait, what?
Yeah, they shot it in one sliding camera.
Oh, you mean at that part, at the end
Yeah.
part? Yeah. I mean, it
but
was
all the
cool,
Deadpools
but again,
turning up
it was
before that
pointless.
was a bit pointless.
Yeah.
But there are no consequences, and I understand that that's as I said earlier, a product of the most recent
Yeah.
films with the timeline. But I just can't be engaged in the film more so than bright colors and action sequences and the occasional cheap joke, really. And I liked the characters standalone. Together, I'm not a fan
Yeah.
at all, even actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, for me, I definitely had more of that sort of nostalgia because I did grow up watching all the X-Men movies. And so, like, I got a lot of those references. I know there were others, like, there was that montage where he was trying to find Logan and he saw all the different Wolverines, which apparently was, like, comic book references, like the different Wolverines he saw, which I didn't understand.
The 4 foot
They-
tall one.
Yeah, I didn't get
They
it.
ended
I
up
was
picking the drum
Because he's supposed to be really short.
Oh, right. Okay.
But Hugh Jackman's like 6 foot.
Right.
Yeah, he's a big fella. He's roided up to the max in this film.
Nah, he's natural, bro. How old is he?
So he's
50
mid-50s,
something.
Oh,
bro.
yeah, he's so fucking... He's so juiced, bro. Pretty sure he was like a PE teacher. He should be against that.
He did look godly, bro.
He looks
lie.
very
He's
good.
diced.
I did.
And
love,
the other thing is, he
I
would have been
loved all of them.
dehydrated as hell.
Oh, for that last scene.
Could you imagine having to film that? He probably was on the verge of actual death when he was doing that scene.
Well, yeah, because I like read about that process, which is that you drink 1.5 liters of water, then a liter, and then half a liter, and then no water for a full day, and then the next day you film. So by the time he was filming, he would have only had like 500 mils of water in 2 days, which is like
God.
so fucked.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, well, he would have made at least 50 mil off this, and the rest.
Well, then you got box office as well after the fact and shit.
Yeah, which would have been fucking.
Because it
huge.
did a lot
Did a
at
lot.
the box office.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, look, to be honest, so many of the recent Marvel movies, at least the ones that I've seen that I can remember, because I can't really remember what happened in most of them, but I remember them sort of just being try hard and kind of pathetic and including a bunch of characters that I don't like. This did feel different. This was a lot more entertaining. It was an MA-15 rated movie, which was nice. I appreciated that. It made just... Seeing that in a Marvel movie was pretty different, and I, enjoyed it. I can't lie, like, I had a lot of fun. I actually ended up seeing it a second time because my sister was like, please come see it with me again. And so I did watch it a second time, and it was actually slightly better the second time, just because some of the pacing, because I knew what to expect, I super switched my brain off the second time. I was like, I'm not even thinking about what I'm looking at. And so then I would just laugh at the jokes, and she was having a great time, and I was like, this is cool. It's a fun movie, I don't hate it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Look.
I can understand why someone would hate it, but I guess because I grew up and I've watched so many superhero movies in my life, I still have a soft spot for them. But yeah,
I don't hate it because I'm looking at the last 8 or so Marvel films.
you hate
And
them.
I can give it, I hate them a lot more than I hate this. But I still don't like it.
what were some of the recent ones?
Black Widow,
That was shit.
Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder.
Shit.
There was a Black
Ant-Man.
Widow movie?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
trash, bro.
That was the first one of Phase 4.
mega trash.
Like, the one with the most merit since Far From Home, other than No Way Home,
Oh, wait, I think
is
I actually watched the Black Widow movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
yeah, that was good.
That
legitimately good.
and that has a
That was better than this.
That way better.
Yeah.
It also has a genuine emotional connection
Yeah.
because of the the animal
Yeah.
interpretation, all those
Yeah.
things. This is on the surface, it's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. There's nothing more than that, but it has more merit than the last 8 or so films. So I got to give it some credit, not none.
I'm trying to think. Eternals. That was so fucking
Yeah.
bad.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
That was okay. It was alright.
The Marvels.
Didn't see it.
Was that the one that has the little girl?
Excuse me?
When I meant little, like, young teen or something. She's like the one at the... No, okay. Maybe it is that one. No.
Anyway,
I don't know, man.
whatever.
There was one movie... The last, like, MCU movie that I can remember apart from Guardians of the Galaxy is the one that I just was trying to remember. I don't know if that was this one, but it was one where, like...
What are you talking about, bro?
I think it was the Marvels. Is that
Saying
the
a lot
one
of
where,
words
like...
around something.
Well, I can't remember what it was. It was like one of the, like the multiverse movies where it was just like they were trying to get this girl.
That was Doctor Strange.
Was that Doctor Strange?
Yeah, where he had a little chick with him.
Yeah,
and
that.
They were all trying
Marvel's
to
is
That movie sucked.
Marvel's
Yeah, that
is
was
this
pretty
one
bad.
with Captain Marvel.
kill her. Dude, the racism on this episode.
No,
The black lady.
He didn't even say that. He just said
Gentle.
the black. The
I was
black.
gonna say
Black
Widow.
gentle lady.
No. I was gonna say Black
Fair
Widow,
Maiden?
but it was Captain Marvel.
Wait, if you scroll a
Don't-
little
I
higher.
don't-
Oh wait, that's a different poster. The poster I'm looking at has Samuel L. Jackson right in the back.
Bro, Marlon can't look at that picture, bro. His eyes will melt.
This is not true.
Wait. Oh, I was gonna make it. No,
I got Captain Marvel.
I was gonna make an actually racist joke just then. It
God.
I want you to
cut
whisper
that
it to me. What was it?
was a Rosa Parks joke.
We've got mics right here.
We got because Samuel L. Jackson's at the back of the poster.
Christ.
Oh my god.
I was trying to say Black Widow and I got her confused with Captain Marvel, which was the one on my screen. Anyway, I've said everything I want to say
Yeah.
about Deadpool and Wolverine. Gentlemen, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I don't care. I had fun. It was fun.
My
Well,
lack
then
of
you can
thoughts
start
is
us.
everything I have to say.
You can start off with the ratings, Nick.
There's how much fun did I have compared to my being a critic? Give it a 7. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 7. I had fun.
Yeah.
It's like a 6 if I'm being a critic, or like a 5.5. I'm gonna give it a 7. I had a lot of fun. I don't care.
Either.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of fun, but also it's a terrible movie. So it is actually quite hard to decide.
But I'm judging it as a Marvel movie, not as a fucking. I'm not comparing it to fucking.
I guess
Citizen
we
Kane.
do play pretty fast and loose with our criteria. So
Yeah, very adaptable.
yeah, I guess I'll give it a 6. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm umming and ahhing. I'm at a 5 though, I think.
Uh huh.
I'm gonna leave it at that. That's what I've got. A couple of the other recent Marvel, and I think it's around there.
Yeah.
I'll give it
Fine.
a 5. High 5.
Lol. Oh, hold on.
Sorry.
You right, Nick?
Nah, sorry. I'm reading our favorite critic. Reading what he said about.
What did Roger Ebert have to say? Roger Ebert have to say about From His Tomb?
No, I'm reading our actual favorite critic, bro.
Oh,
In comparison to Roger
I'm not-
Ebert.
I'm
This
not-
cunt's talking about Roger Ebert.
I'm not really into superhero films.
What was the point of that? You're not Spider-Man. Okay.
Anyway.
We'll move on.
Anyway,
Okay.
the next film we'll be covering today is Longlegs, directed by God only knows.
Great name.
Who directed Longlegs?
Great preparation here by the
it Eugene
professional
something?
podcast.
Eugene, what the fuck do you want?
Osgood Perkins.
Eugene.
Who the hell is named Eugene, bro?
No one comes. No one in
Osgood-
this century.
Osgood Perkins.
To be fair, Osgood is a wild name as well.
Osgood.
Bro,
This guy might be from the 20s.
where's he from though, eh? Like,
America.
actually? He's
Yeah,
must have,
Born in New York City, bro.
Yeah.
he must have.
Son of the actor Anthony Perkins.
Oh, really? Wow.
They'd be on those
Wait, from-
Percocets.
From Psycho. His dad was Norman Bates? What the fuck?
Damn.
That's some wild shit, bro. No wonder he's making a disturbed movie.
Well,
Anyway,
Longlegs centers around Agent Lee Harper, who is a FBI agent, very new, and essentially she has this sort of what we call it, natural instinct.
the fuck?
Well, he has things to say about this film.
No, that was just... No. Sorry.
Anyway,
That was just a tired thought about something.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't even want to know. She has this sort of like natural, uncanny ability to, I guess, figure shit out.
Seemingly psychic.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And so she figures out where a murderer is, and then they put her in a different case, which has been unsolved for 50 years or something.
I don't know.
Yeah,
A long time.
a long time. And anyway, for a while, it's just a sort of, I'll call it cat and mouse, sort of detective story, sort of psychological thriller
Yeah.
unfolding. And then, there's familial issues along with some weird satanic shit.
Yep.
And it just sort of unravels.
Yep.
All right.
So-
Isaac out of the way.
Isaac actually apparently has things to say.
Well, I have one sentence actually, but it will have a lot more to say from it. The first 40 minutes.
Is this your thesis?
The first 40 minutes of this movie were absolutely excellent. I was utterly enthralled. I was loving it.
Yeah.
And
I think
then
that's fair to say.
the movie collapses into an abyss of ass cheekness.
An abyss of Nick Cage.
Well, no, he's good. He's good. The acting is fine.
Mommy!
The whole yeah, it's nothing wrong.
Daddy!
There's nothing wrong with the performances per se. I think the performances
Yeah,
are great throughout,
yeah.
but it's the writing which falls off a cliff. And this is the problem. The first 40 minutes are spent creating the mystery, creating the atmosphere, setting up our protagonist and all the important stuff. Then they have to take the plot somewhere because that's how movies work. And
So the,
they had
capital
no
Q
idea where they wanted to go. They couldn't think of anything interesting, and they decided we're going to do a satanic, which has been done a million
Yeah.
times before.
Yeah.
And the other problem is they revealed the mystery of the entire movie. And well, I can't call it this. This was what I have my own phrase for what I would call this problem. But where you basically the mystery is what creates the rest of the movie, right? Or the story. So you have like this. Like I guess like a tree is a good analogy, right? You have like the fucking trunk and then the branches out from it. So the trunk would be the mystery, and then all the rest of the stuff comes from that. But once you reveal the mystery, you've just cut down the trunk, and now all the branches fall off, and everything it's all gone. Becomes just nothing. And so after 40 minutes, when you no longer have this feeling of like the killer being some sort of force of nature, this unknown like entity, it's just a guy who worships Satan, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
and it's like a glam rock star sort of
yeah, and
enthusiast.
you're just like, oh, he's just a man. That's the important thing. It's not scary anymore. He's just a man.
Yeah.
It's not like before that. We're like, how is he doing all of this stuff? And then the movie goes on, blah blah blah. It's still okay.
then
It's
there's
still
the
okay.
mum.
Then this whole thing with the mum is just total. It's just contrived. They couldn't come up with a reason for how people were getting in the house, or there was how he was getting in the house, not leaving any evidence behind, and so on. And then the ending, the way they bring it all together, is through just like telling you everything, rather than like it being revealed throughout. It's
Yeah.
just the mum just goes, yeah, so this is what happened. And you're like, oh,
So it's really interesting that you bring that up because I wanted to mention this. In terms of movies where your opinion changes on it, like the more you see it or the more you think about it, probably the biggest one for me is Knives Out, which when I saw it, I actually didn't like it at all. And as time's gone on, I've actually grown to love it, and I've seen it loads of times, and it's one of my favorite movies. I think it's great. And what's interesting is, and the first time I ever saw it, I was with my mum, and she loved it. And I said it really pissed me off that at the end they just explained the whole thing to us, because it's like just spoon feeding me the answers basically. And that is actually, when you go back to the oldest crime stories ever written, like Arthur Conan Doyle's original Sherlock novels or like Agatha Christie shit, that is how they traditionally are structured. You just have the mystery because they can't, as you say, chop the tree down. You have to wait until the end, and then you basically are forced to chop it down because the story's over, like the book is at the end. So that's never really a problem because it's just a way of keeping you as interested for as long as possible until they kind of have to give you the answers. What is interesting, and I think a really interesting film to compare this to would be Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
And I'm going somewhere with this, which is basically that I feel like this is a combination of two things. It's like this movie is Prisoners for the first half, and then it becomes Knives Out in the second half, where it's trying to be a more modernized, really fucked up, really dark serial killer type movie. And then at the end, or the last half, last third, they turn back into the traditional, more stereotypical, I don't want to call it family friendly, but digestible crime thriller plot, which is essentially the Knives Out. We'll just reveal everything to you. Here's the mystery, boom. But it's conflicting tones because it's so dark and so fucked and so little information is given because the detective isn't really detecting anything. It's like so confusing.
There's so many pieces.
Yeah, you don't even know what the fuck's going on. And so I was thinking about Prisoners with this, because Prisoners is fucking amazing. And the reason why Prisoners is so good is because Prisoners like never really chops the tree down. It doesn't even give you the final answer, which is what happens to Hugh Jackman at the end. It's hinted to, but you don't even see it. They give you as minimal as possible, and the whole thing is the investigation. Whereas Knives Out, obviously, it's more fun. You've got the detective and he's talking to more people. It's not about the clues, it's more about the people.
The show that I think of, sorry to interrupt,
No.
that makes this point super clear is Twin Peaks.
Right.
And if you watch Twin Peaks and you get through it, you'll know exactly what I mean. Because Laura Palmer's death is the mystery,
Yeah.
and the rest of the show comes out of that.
Yeah. So they don't reveal it, straight away.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they can't. I mean, I've seen the first few episodes.
Yeah.
They don't reveal it straight
Yeah.
away. Yeah. And so I think that's one of the major problems with the film. And I agree, sort of the similar thing is I actually noticed a sort of tonal shift. I mean, the big thing for me is that I just wish they'd never shown Nick Cage until the end.
Yeah, or
Until
shown
the
him
end.
in like when they do the prologue. The prologue is, by the way, is amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
the red fading in and out, and yeah, it was great. But his character there is very ominous, and
Yeah.
we know that it's a man, but he feels like something more or something less
Because
even. But
you go into it hearing about Longlegs.
Yeah.
What's Longlegs?
yeah,
And
he makes the long.
But then you have that
Yeah.
stupid scene at the fucking 7-Eleven or
Yeah,
whatever that
God.
was, where he's doing this or whatever that was.
and the girl's just like, oh, that
and it
creeps
was
here
so
again.
so cringe.
Oh yeah, Dad. Yeah.
And then he goes in the cone or whatever he's doing.
And he's like scream
And
singing.
it was and then I was sitting there thinking, oh, it's Nick Cage.
Yeah.
It's Nick Cage. Oh, well, there's nothing to worry about here, guys. The
makeup is incredible.
It is, but
That's
it's like,
incredible
oh,
makeup.
it's just Nick Cage. We've got nothing to worry about. You know what I mean?
And then, like, the whole satanic sort of, I don't know, like, that part of the story, it's just so boring. I feel like how many times has it been done before and probably done better? But, like, it's just, oh, yeah, this guy worships Satan and,
So he's gonna kill some people.
he
on
kills people.
Satan's order and
he went to this girl's house and then the mom's like, please no. And then she becomes his servant. It's like-
Rock is the devil.
and also, I didn't like the ending. I really did not like the ending. I get the point is that, like, the devil still has control of Lee because even though the doll's been freed or whatever, she doesn't have the final bullet. But it wasn't satisfying. Like, the ending of the movie just left me like, really?
I
Goddamn.
actually do appreciate endings that don't wrap everything up. I think that's quite important for.
But I think it does wrap it up. It just doesn't wrap it up in a, like...
she leaves the house.
Yeah, it
type
wraps
thing.
it up
It
in
wraps
a-
it up in the middle of the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
basically.
But the whole thing's wrapped up. It's like, oh, this build up to her stopping the next killing. Oh, she doesn't do it. And I don't have a problem with her not being able to stop the next killing. I have a problem with the way that it happens.
The other thing is, I hate how early on you're able to figure out the ending with the senior FBI agent's family.
Yeah, when they
The
well,
first
that
time,
was so obvious.
the
well, it's
first
a
time,
classic case of Chekhov's gun, though. Like, you can't be like, oh, we're gonna go to. You're going to go to this birthday and then it's just irrelevant. They're not going
Yeah.
to do that. Like, when they said that, I'm like, when is it coming?
yeah, exactly. But it could have been written a lot better.
Yeah, but that's my whole problem with the second half of the movie.
But that's
is that
revealed at the very start, essentially.
Well, yeah, sure, but
Like it could
when it
have
happens
been
at the
even
start,
teased.
when it happens at the start, I'm not thinking, oh, everyone's going to fucking die.
Oh, I am.
Really?
Unfortunately, yeah. I go, well, this.
I suppose that's fair. I had the thought, like, oh, well, this is obviously going to lead to some situation happening, but whether or not it meant that they're going to die was not necessarily obvious. It was something you could pick out.
Yeah.
But by the second half of the movie, it's the whole situation is just there.
When's this happening?
And
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
It's a matter of if, not when. So
Yeah,
when,
I
not
know.
if. Yeah.
I just think that the nuance and the subtlety and how they wrote the movie it sort of fell off more and more as it went along.
Was Oscar done anything before?
Well, what I would say, and something I really can't stand is, and it's so rare when it's done well, is sort of going from realism to surrealism. You know what I mean? Like going from a really grounded story and then introducing this supernatural element, which is utter bullshit. You know what I mean? And so you're sitting there and you're watching this, and it's a really interesting detective story. And this serial killer is like, wow, how's he doing this? and all of it's a bit mysterious.
And
but then
even-
they straight up go into, nah, he's actually got like devil powers and shit.
And the psychic stuff made me like, I was really much more interested in that being the movie, because it's sort of like, I don't know if you guys know about all the 1950s like MK Ultra, when they really believed that this stuff was possible, like that there was some sort of magic psychic energy, like that was on the cards as a possibility.
Well, yeah,
And like
this
this movie would have been quite interesting if it sort of had that vibe, because that's the vibe I had when it was quite like a mysterious, like, you know, like sort of building on pseudoscientific ideas, but it's fun. It's like, and it's quite interesting and engaging, because I feel like that sort of demographic of like, you know, time, or that time period of investigation is very sort of like, it has a weird place in your mind. So I feel like that would have been way more interesting if they kept that vibe.
Yeah, well, I
But as
feel
soon as
like
it becomes that satanic stuff, it's just, oh my God.
I feel like
boring.
when a movie has sort of two mysteries to unravel, more so than one, in this case, you could have had the mystery of Agent Lee's ability, and then the separate murder. And if they found a way to blend the two, wherein both get revealed or neither get revealed.
They do reveal them together.
Yeah.
But the way is that they're revealed
It's the
through
same answer.
explanation.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's it's a big problem.
I just think this movie would have been so much more interesting if it was like she was somehow had some kind of psychic ability. I don't think they even need to explain it that much. And the
they
villain
wouldn't have
also
to explain it.
is just some kind of weird force of nature, and you're like, what is going on? And
Yeah. Like
I don't know,
The suspense that's built when she's in the cabin at the start by herself and she goes outside in the dark. That's something that is done really well. And the, as you said, the prologue that has the different aspect ratio and the red bleeding and
T-Rex.
Yeah, T-Rex.
Good music, yeah.
And the teaser to Longlegs it's fucking disturbing. It is a disturbing start to a film, and that sort of tension, that the high stakes, unknown aspect, which Isaac says is excellent. It is excellent because it stays that way for so long,
Yeah.
and then it's sort of it's a pretty blunt cut between the Knives Out.
The satanic sort of elements don't really bother me, because that is actually true to form. Like, most real life crimes are based on those sort of
okay,
ideals.
that's fair.
But for me, it's when they actually introduce proper supernatural shit where it's like, well, this is now dumb. Like, this doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
You know, having lots of, like, this is a good example, right? There was a serial killer in Brisbane in the 70s, and she believed that she was a vampire and needed to drink blood. Yeah. And so she got this guy down at like the river.
I remember you telling me this story when we were actually walking past it.
Yeah, when we were on walkathon, and she cut this guy's throat and drank his blood, which A, made her really sick, but B, she did just, like, you could do that to someone. Like, and if that was a movie and that happened, I'd be like, fine, she's just nuts. I mean, there you go. But if she started all of a sudden forming fucking fangs.
Or levitating.
You know, or turn into bats, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, it takes you out of, you need
The
to
integrity of the film is undermined.
you need to establish straight away, like in that prologue, the prologue sets up, this is realistic, disturbing. I felt like something like that happens somewhere in America or some shit every day.
Even in Australia.
Or in Australia,
You know,
whatever.
children
That happens
get abducted,
Happens in the world every
get
day.
murdered.
That's like what was that thing we watched about the children?
Oh, what's it called?
The Freedom or something.
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
It's like that, like every
hear
day. You know what I mean? But then,
Sound of Freedom.
it gets fucking dumb. It turns into, I was about to say a Marvel thing. I'm like, not that bad, but you know, like it turns into silly. Like, I can't buy into it. Like, you need to. I'm fine with it having fantastical elements, but those need to be established straight away. That's what I'm explaining about the Prisoners Knives Out thing. It just switches its tone.
Actually, it's a very clean cut.
And you know,
Straight
you know
away.
what the other problem with the movie is? Her detective work is very minimal, and the detective work she does, like when she solves that cipher, like that was so simple. It was just a classic swap the letter out. Like, how could nobody else have
And then when you
solved
flip
it?
it upside down, it's a pentagram.
It's bizarre to me. Like, it wasn't like a complicated like thing. And I would just put that up to, they didn't put that much effort in thinking about that part of the script.
Agreed.
But
that's why you can look at
if her character is going to be a detective,
detail in that.
put detail into her being a detective.
Yeah.
Like, there would have been a very nice interplay of her being psychic well, obviously they decide to make it, seeming psychic, and then that playing with her being an actually good detective and like, balancing it out, and that would be an interesting movie.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing. She does make bad decisions in this movie. It's a classic horror trait, right? Like when her at the start of the movie, when her the other guy that she's with gets shot in the head, and she's like, "All right, let's just go in. Like you can just call for backup. He's in the house."
Well, again, in real life, if that happened, you would just run.
Yeah, but like
run away.
she can get cover and go, I need backup, like she was going to do earlier.
Then do you put these bad decisions down to some sort of confidence in her innate ability, or some sort of...
But she clearly wasn't confident.
No, she was
exactly.
shitting her pants, bro.
Or I was going to say, but the other thing is just inexperience.
Nah. No, because literally 2 seconds before, she's like to the guy...
He's in there.
No, yeah, she's like, we need to get backup. And then he's like, come down. But obviously she has the devil on her shoulder going, bruh, turn around. I don't know. I didn't mind that though. I like, even the fact, like, if we accept that the plot was all like satanic, whatever, I did kind of like the idea of her psychic abilities just being like the devil leading her. And because obviously then she kind of gets led down and the story is still being controlled by the devil the whole way through. But now that makes me think another thing. Like, if the devil's controlling her, why? What does she do in the plot that drives the devil's plan forward?
Wasn't it just the trade-off for...
Yeah. I know that. But in terms of, like, him controlling her...
Why is he doing it?
What does that drive in terms of his plan? Because what does she do for him? Like, I mean, the other thing is, like, at the end, she's just there. It's not like she does anything. She just witnesses it happen. So maybe it's just a matter of the devil being like, ha, 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 ha.
That's something the devil would do.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently.
But
who knows what the devil would do?
With the supernatural elements, right, Nick? The black shit coming out of the... Like the...
What is it with you and black tonight, bro?
Oh my God. Like the wispy black air that comes out of the dolls.
I actually liked
that. Yeah.
It looked cool.
That is one thing. The movie is shot really
it looks great.
It looks really fucking cool. It looks
How
really
good is
nice.
that? Like, when they have like the scary devil looking doll that's just like black. And it's like wearing like
it's not just me.
There's just gonna be
wearing like the
redacted.
robe thing, and then like the eyes like glow through. I thought that was pretty creepy looking. I liked it. I like that a lot.
See,
actually, also that cover on Letterboxd, that scene of the mother cutting her up is a pointless scene.
wasn't that just a picture?
No, it happens. She cuts her, but it's just there so that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's just there to set up like that she hates her daughter, but it's like that. That's like the main picture on Letterboxd.
Well, probably because it just looks cool.
I know it looks cool, but that's why it's in the movie too, because it looks cool.
Yeah, it's in there for a minute.
It literally is only in there 'cause
That's
it
why
looks
the
cool.
genius marketing of this movie is they like cherry picked all these crazy little moments, put it in the trailer, being like, "Look at this fucking movie. It's gonna be fucked up. It's gonna be crazy." And it's like you watch it and you're like, "Oh, yeah."
I think they missed a chance to make the score better as well.
The score's not that bad though.
It's good.
It's got some pretty... I was listening on the way home, like it's got some decent songs, but it's definitely not the best.
But when you look at the rock cameos in Nick Cage's room, they missed out.
Yeah, they got what's his name.
That was
on
one
the
thing as
poster.
well. I didn't.
Lou Reed.
Yeah, that's
and with the time frame, it's Transformer, a great album.
Actually, when I saw Lou Reed up there, I was thinking, what does this symbolize in terms of the movie?
Well, I just thought it was rock is the
I was
devil.
like, are they saying Lou Reed is a fucking satanic worshiper?
No,
Then I
it's
just
just
forgot to search it up.
the whole thing of rock is the devil.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
But that was people's thoughts back in the day. Back in
One thing was
People are
that
so
and
awesome with
maybe
the great
maybe I
thoughts.
don't remember the fucking movie, which is quite likely, but I didn't anticipate that he was actually under the house the whole time, which I thought was kind of a funky reveal. Like when she was
that's definitely not a...
when she was doing I don't think they like gave that away until they showed it, but I actually think that would have been something that would have been great to discover. Because when she comes down the stairs in that montage where she's talking and like just explaining the whole movie, you're like, oh wow, he was under the house the whole time. That's really fucked up. But can you imagine if she discovered that naturally? That would have been fucking terrifying. That would have been so scary. It would have been like Silence of the Lambs, where she went into the house and then it's actually in the basement is the whole like maze of places.
Yeah.
Oh
man, it's just disappointing because this movie could have been
Lots of
awesome as
potential.
hell. And actually...
But Silence of the Lambs is a great example because it's actually a pretty similar movie in the sense it's really dark, it's really realistic, and Jodie Foster's character doesn't have any powers, but almost like she does because of how good she is as a cop. But then imagine if you're watching the movie and then right when she's about to go see Buffalo Bill, this dude can like go invisible or some shit. Like just, do some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what the fuck? It's
Come
sort of,
through the bars and meet her on the other side.
or if he just like was shown immediately in the film and like they bumped into each other. I was like, oh, so you'd just be like, what the fuck? Oh, no, I don't care. Because it's the same thing. Like, as soon as they showed Nick Cage as just Nick Cage, I was like, oh.
Yeah, Longlegs is just a guy who is doing
Longlegs is
doing
just Nick
the.
Cage.
And I hate when they keep going. What's the phrase they use? Like the man from downstairs. It's like, shut up, man. Just
Yeah.
like you can say it once, but don't say it over and over again. It just gets annoying. The other thing as well is obviously with movies like this, you leave clues throughout, like the birthday thing, for example. But you don't want to leave them like you're supposed to leave breadcrumbs, not whole fucking slices
Crusts
of bread
and shit.
Yeah, because like another example is the mum constantly being like, "You keep on praying, you're doing your prayers."
Yeah.
And obviously it's because the expectation they want you to have the expectation that she's this super holy woman, and then it turns out she's the doing the handiwork of the devil. But it's like, oh wow, really? Didn't expect that one. I literally that one I expected so hardcore. I was like, yeah, she's definitely some
Fucked
kind
up,
of dumb bitch.
Dude, the set design, the props in the mum's house, it's awesome. Like the clutter, shit, I love that. And how Lee's room is completely just untouched.
Yeah.
It's such just like a disturbing, weird fucking mum thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like,
What do you guys think of
which comes back to like realism and then just fucks it all and flips it on its head.
what do you guys think of that the psycho bitch in the war?
Had some good kills. There was that chick who got her head blown off with the shotgun. That was a good moment. I was like, oh yeah, nice.
Well,
I was into that.
That's that mum, isn't it? That's on the letterbox page.
Yeah, she gets axed.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm
It's
talking
the
about
detective.
her detective
Gotcha.
friend in the car.
In the car. Yeah.
Yeah, with a shotgun. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, she just put the mum.
I was like,
right?
ooh, I
Actually,
like that.
no. Yeah, even the first guy gets like full head explode. But yeah, what did you guys think of that crazy bitch who like was like, if Longlegs asked me to jump off the building?
Oh yeah, in the psych ward.
That was fucking. That chick was Don Draper's daughter.
True.
I couldn't fucking believe that.
That explains a lot then.
Bro, I actually realized that when I was sitting there.
Kieran Shipka?
Yeah, Kieran Shipka. Sitting there going, what the fuck? Why does she look so familiar? And then I went, whoa.
She was in a TV show I used to watch.
That's Sally Draper. But then I could not take that scene seriously because I was just imagining her character from Mad Men saying that shit, and I was just like, "Shut the fuck up, bro! Get off the screen."
What do we think of that? She's saying like if Longlegs.
Did you like her character?
She was in one scene, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't really have any
Because what does she
impact
do?
on the story.
Doesn't she
She
just kill herself?
off
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
You just hear about
She's
it.
just there to move the long legs, like
She's
mystery.
She's just a
not in
character.
connection with Lee Harker.
She's just a character that is there as a placeholder for the detective to do the next step.
yeah.
To then, yeah.
And then
The detective always needs to interview a few people so they have time to pad out the fucking
It just
story.
sort of sets up the story, I guess. Yeah.
But no, I did like the scene because it was Don Draper's daughter. That's it. That's the only reason.
I mean, see, that's the sort of thing where there would have been some sort of merit in cutting back to it to show the death. Like, if you're going to show all these other deaths on screen, why not show that one? Because that's the sort of one that can have that disturbing effect.
But also, that was the one we spent the most time with. I mean, that was a
Yeah.
long scene.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, oh, okay.
Well, like, there's something compelling about watching someone else will you to do an act for them based on their ability or their sort of nature.
Yeah.
Wasn't it to do with like the doll thing as well? That whole like, because they find her doll in the
That was in that church barn or something, wasn't
yeah
it?
Yeah, the one in
and
the
I
box.
think,
And they
I think
cut
when
it
they
open.
open it up and like
Yeah.
break the ball or something.
Yeah.
I think that sets her free.
Yeah.
Actually, I also like that when the ball like releases like a memory and that was really cool. There was like cool stuff like that. That was sort of, it felt like if it hadn't have been like this satanic thing and it was more just this mysterious like ability she had.
Unexplained, yeah.
Sort of like, you know how like in Star
what
Wars
you're-
some Jedi can like touch things and go, oh my god, I can see what happened here. I don't know if you know.
But-
Anyway, that's sort of what it felt like.
In the Clone Wars or in...
Nah, it's mostly
canon. No,
it happens
sorry,
in
in
it, does,
Legends.
it happens in Clone Wars too. I can't remember what's the guy's name.
Kit Fisto?
Nah. Anyway, doesn't really matter.
No, well, I was going to say, what if this movie would just benefited if it just didn't show Nick Cage until the end. Like, have him at the start and at the end, and then that's it. Because, another good example, Seven. Seven's so awesome. You don't see the killer until the last, 20 minutes. And then he's in it, and it's like, wow, look at this guy. And then the movie ends before you're even, ready for it. It's like a shock.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like, if you didn't see Nick Cage at all, you just saw him at the start, you knew the face, you knew he's got a fucked face, and then he was there in that interview scene, and you have that moment, that'd have been like, whoa. And I agree, focusing more on her telepath thing, or even not focusing on it, just the fact that she has it, and then she's just doing this case. You don't really need to go into it.
Yeah, but then you go, if we were sitting here, would you go, oh, this chick can just fucking figure everything out with this sort of weird...
Nah, but you would sort of
You'd add
I mean,
Well, I
not-
suppose, though, because there's other supernatural, or not supernatural, uncanny...
just with it,
sort of...
yeah, without having...
What you would do is you would make it like the Kapabilki affair. She can only see 30 seconds into the future. Fuck. And then that's it. That's it. Done. People at home, you're not understanding that reference, but one day you'll understand. But that is a great reference. You'll get it.
There is But, yeah, if it was left unexplained with all the other weird shit that happened, minus the satanic supernatural stuff, then it doesn't need to be explained.
Agreed.
Yeah. Which would have been a lot cooler, because then it's something that you can think about
You just have a way of...
after the fact.
Without obviously us being in the writer's room right now, I would just say the rule that you would use is just you have to be able to have the audience suspend their disbelief about it. That's all you have to try and do. Don't know. It doesn't really matter how you do it, so long as it's not over the top.
Yeah.
Just has to be something basically as minimal as possible that gets the audience on board. But yeah.
Well, after I watched this film with my dad and my cousin.
Your dad liked it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He likes the music.
Good soundtrack. Looked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hadn't seen a film in cinema.
likes Nick Cage.
He hadn't seen a film in cinema since June, I don't think.
What a
Since
movie.
during the month or during the movie?
I don't think he even saw Dune. Oppenheimer last year, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we watched that together. And he
You
was
didn't
like,
see June Part 2 in cinemas, bro. That's so sad.
yeah, what a loser. I saw it twice.
Bro, what a loser.
But
missing out on life, bro.
I sort of left the film, was like, yeah, looked cool.
Yeah.
I was like, look, cool stories. I'm A lot of horrors sort of hit the mark with one thing and then miss out on the rest. They always have some form of potential, whether it's just shit scary or well shot in this case. But if those other things were left unexplained, then you have the potential after the fact to then go and think about it later that night, or talk about it with your friends the next day. Whereas we're here sitting discussing the film, saying what if, rather than
Which, Loki is a lot of fun though.
it is, but it doesn't change the fact that it never happened.
Yeah.
And so we're thinking of
And you gotta
the possible film, not the real film.
You gotta reflect on when we talked about something that we did like when we talked about June for a whole fucking hour and a half.
Yeah.
We were talking about
All the things that did happen.
what was just happening in the movie and how good it was. We're like, wow, every scene.
You don't find people discussing
I like that scene.
2001 for what it could have been.
No, but I would have liked it in 2001 if they did this. Like, no
Yeah.
one's ever fucking said that.
You're right.
I would have liked it if there were more
And so
monkeys.
that's probably as Isaac summed up the best in the first minute.
No, dude.
As Isaac summed up best in the first minute, I didn't even hear what he said.
Doesn't matter.
In the first minute of
We'll
this
bleep that.
of this talking about Longlegs, what do you say?
Nothing.
So bad.
Said nothing.
Absolutely atrocious.
Is that it had the potential and it fell short, far short.
Yep.
But
Agreed.
Okay, I will say this though. I don't think it was terrible.
No.
I maybe I did say that, but I don't.
It chugs along.
really think that. Like,
You
it's
said that
fine.
it was like ass cancer or something.
Yeah, I was being a bit.
dramatic.
Yeah,
Obtuse.
It definitely isn't like the most terrible thing I've ever watched. It's just totally not.
So, yeah.
I was just really disappointed because the first 40 minutes I genuinely would have given a 5.
Yeah, you texted us and you were like, dude.
I literally was sitting there like, holy fuck, this is actually fucking so good. And then I was like, I can't believe the Letterboxd review isn't like at least a 4.
Yeah.
And then it went to it cut to the service station scene, and I said,
Oh.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
I literally had the thought, I'm like, oh, there goes. I literally, in that exact minute, I looked at my phone. All right, it's been 40 minutes. I think that was about how long it had been. And I go, there goes the movie.
Yeah.
I was so sad.
Right.
But, it was fine. But, yeah. It's just one of those things where you're like, damn, what could have been, bro?
Ratings.
6. Borderline 7.
I'm gonna give it a 7 because of how amazing, or at least I thought how amazing the first 40 minutes were.
So what I was realizing is that I felt in different ways, but you know what I mean? I felt the same about this that I did about Deadpool, but like
Slightly better about this.
no.
Oh.
Like no. Like I still feel the same, but I don't want to give this a 7. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my Deadpool rating to a 6, and I'm gonna give this a 6.
There you go.
Both 6s. Because
So what did you give Deadpool?
I was going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 6 now
Okay,
because I think these are basically the same in quality, and I have about the same likes, dislikes.
Obviously
both,
for different reasons.
for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I felt the exact same coming out of the theater, more or less, in terms of the experience.
Yeah, look.
And I feel like because this doesn't deserve a 7 in my opinion,
Agreed.
but this isn't worse than Deadpool. So it's
way.
like, there you go.
My feelings for both the movies was I went in, I watched them, fine, left the cinema, forgot about them.
Yep.
I
Essentially.
actually, I left the theater and just was walking back to the car, and I was just thinking of my own movie. Like, I was like, all right, that first 40 minutes, where would I go?
What you should do,
yeah.
get the money to reshoot it and then just
Yeah, do
stitch
a-
the first 40 minutes on and then reshoot the ending.
Pull a Schneider cut type thing.
The Bowie cut.
Yeah,
Longlegs
cut of
Bowie
Longlegs.
cut.
Capability cut.
Isaac Bowie's long legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Nice.
Yeah.
been I'd say a probably disappointing month.
Yeah, well, it's just there was no bangers. We didn't leave the theater going, "Wow, there's banger." But I mean, so far this year there hasn't really been bangers.
Well, there's been June 2, Kinds of Kindness.
Challenges was a banger.
Challenges was good.
But the fact that we had June, honestly, I don't really care. We could get nothing for the rest of the year. I'd be
We've still
satisfied.
got Megalopolis coming up.
And Joker, boys. Joker is obviously going to be the best film
Yeah.
of the year. Absolutely.
What else? You got Perfect Days.
Haven't seen it.
I can't wait to see the people who come out to watch Joker.
Civil War was good.
Solid. Furiosa was pretty solid.
I wasn't the greatest fan.
I really liked that. I'm trying to remember everything else.
Alright, I'm looking
Oh,
in-
Bike Riders. You guys didn't
looking
see
in-
that, but that was a good movie.
Roadhouse
looking-
been my favorite film of the year.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
looking into the future and I'm saying Venom the Last Dance.
Yeah, right. That's going to be the best film of the year.
Well,
Venom Horse, bro.
Isaac, what was your pick for last episode?
Wow, okay. It was Metropolis by Fritz Lang. What year? 1927. You know,
She's
it's,
97 years old.
it's a movie that, almost blows your mind that it is as old as it is because of how amazing the visual effects are. How innovative the actual shot design is, and
Yeah.
Far ahead of its
everything
time.
that.
So, yeah.
But yeah, the movie is basically like this guy who is the son of the dude who designed this futuristic city. He gets like out of his, sort of Garden of Eden like area, and he sees the working class city, and it's just this hellscape of like men who have lost their humanity and are basically slaves to the machine. And his whole thing is basically trying to build this revolution. There's this woman who's like
A prophet.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's this woman with children.
It's
Yeah.
super.
And that's how he discovers the workers in the hellscape.
It's super Orwellian, and it's super.
Does this predate? This would predate
Yeah.
1984 by a lot.
1984 is, I think, 20
By a
years,
lot, yeah.
20 years later.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have been written until
Late 40s.
yeah.
Late 40s.
Maybe even after.
49. Perhaps.
Yeah.
And also, it's
Yeah,
very
1949.
very interesting to think about this movie, because we did some of this in film class.
Also,
The context of this film when it was made in the context of Germany's history.
It's German expressionist. Let's
German
get that out of the
expressionist,
way.
that's
It's a
right.
German film. Fritz Lang, if you go figure. American produced.
Because it was so expensive.
Yep. But, so, 9 years after World War One, same time as the Nazi Party is slowly coming into power.
This movie also got banned for being communist and etc. by the Nazis.
Yeah.
Gotta love the Nazis. bro.
Anyway, keep going with your point, though. We'll just get the broad things out of the way.
So, yeah, but essentially, when you look at German Expressionism, the whole goal of it in the context of Germany was after the World War, they were sanctioned to fuck, crippled economically. The country was in a depression. It was basically a shithole. And the German film industry basically did whatever they could to create as abstract and as artistic films as possible so that it was a form of escapism for the German people. However, a lot of the themes and the ideas of them were reflective of the issues and sort of just the vibe of Germany at the time. So, wow, shout out Josh. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is another expressionist film from the 20s, and that's super fucking weird. And that movie's more about like isolation, and it's very dark. It's got very dark themes, and that's what Germany, sort of the vibe was they were feeling there, but obviously it's super fucking out there and weird. Metropolis is obviously looking at the rich and the poor, the oppression of people by, large governments, which is definitely what Germany would have been feeling at the time. So it's very interesting to look at the expressionist sort of movement in the context of history. And I think Metropolis possibly is the best one in terms of... Well, as a film, it's definitely the best one.
Is it M?
No.
No? What's M?
Well, so M...
Because I missed that. Is that Italian?
No, it's a German movie.
Yeah,
It's by Fritz Lang, but it's not an expressionist film.
Okay.
It's just because it's a spoken film.
Yeah, so this is silent if you hadn't figured.
Yeah, this is a silent film. It's a spoken film. It's still dealing with the themes, I guess, because it's but it's like a very early serial killer movie, and it does sort of deal with the public turning against the man type thing and turning him over to the law, which is kind of what Germany was feeling like at the time. Like everyone was just backstabbing each other, and they all were very divided.
What you got to do to survive, right?
Exactly. But it was realistic. It's a realist film, but it's the expressionist movement was purely the 20s.
Well, so this was the first silent film I ever saw.
Which is
I've
crazy.
ever seen,
I can't believe that.
Yeah. And Isaac, when picking this, said it's absurd that none of us
I think I
have
said
seen
it was embarrassing. Actually.
Embarrassing, yeah. That we're appreciation of film podcast
Yeah.
that hadn't seen it. But, silent film for me had the connotation of, holy shit, how am I going to get through this?
Especially when this is like 3 hours nearly.
Sub 3 hours, just sub 3 hours.
That was the reason that it put me off, is because I have seen several good silent films, but they're usually mercifully short.
And the other thing is, right, this is the sort of film I would have loved to have seen in cinema. Yeah, I watched it on my TV, and because it's in black and white, the corners of my TV are a bit frayed with like the plasma.
They had a live orchestra at Goma for this.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's such a shame, bro.
Oh, the score is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
The score is incredible. I found the pacing was excellent. It was slightly long, but it deals with so much.
Yeah.
And the story is so... It's not complex. It's a pretty straightforward story.
It is.
But it still has to work through introducing all the characters and then sort of keeping that hope alive, the burning ray of hope sort of vibe. But the amount of influence this had on everything else after, no wonder it's renowned as one of the greatest films of all time. I can't recall any specific films, but the massive shot of the gears working with the men, the insane scale of that.
Yeah.
Almost everything that's come after it is in some way shaped by Metropolis, I think.
Yep.
It's incredible for a 100-year-old film. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I know that it's a huge influence on Ridley Scott, and it's a huge film for Nolan. I know Nolan loves it. Because, just the sort of the scale of it is insane. And because obviously I didn't look into it. I didn't look into how they achieved some of the certain visual effects. I mean, the robot looked fucking awesome.
That like the light around it. When it's like
the halo.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was like, how the fuck do they do that?
There's C-3PO. If that isn't based on C-3PO, then what, Sorry, C-3PO isn't based on Metropolis, then what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
I think George Lucas we've just established as a fraud, right?
Well, he didn't design.
He steals everything, bro.
That was
Steve McQueen.
Who's
Steve McQueen.
Ray.
Yeah. I don't know. Doesn't remember. The guy who did all the artwork for Star Wars.
Oh, no idea. Not a clue.
What is his name? God, I don't know.
Ralph McQuarrie.
Ralph,
there we
that's
go.
It.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. He did some incredible miniatures. But like in Metropolis, there's an entire city built. And it's not necessarily to scale, but it's not mini either. Where they're flooding a literal set.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Playtime.
I haven't seen Playtime.
But Playtime was built, they built 3 blocks worth of shit and did similar stuff, destroyed certain chunks of the building just to achieve the shots. And I was just more thinking that the fact they managed to achieve this, given how dog shit their technology was is insane. I mean, they would have been splicing this film together on these huge fucking machines with one frame at a time and like adding crap into it. It's amazing. Like they would have been layering the film together. Jesus, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I thought it was very entertaining. I wouldn't say it was interesting in the sense of, like, it was fairly obvious where it was going in terms of the whole who's the savior kind of thing. And that idea is fairly rudimentary and whatever. It was standard. I mean, I give this more of a pass for that because it's so early. I mean, that would have been a fairly new thing, especially for cinema. But I wasn't really gripped by the story that much. It was more just enjoying the experience of the world.
Yeah.
And some of the themes that they were going into, the more obscure themes, is what was keeping me really interested.
Well, yeah, on that, I think one of the main themes in the movie is this idea of like humanity and losing your humanity, because obviously the workers like are portrayed as not being as human as him in his white clothes, and he's like pure, and they're all wearing dark clothing.
Yeah.
And when it like he has that hallucination of like that thing that was like eating them, it's what you see is these slaves who are, you know, they're just like their skin color, and so they're lighter, and they're getting like pulled up, and they're like fighting back, and they're trying against it, and then then they're followed by the working people, and they're in their dark clothes, and they're just orderly going to their death. You know what I mean?
Oh, in the marching thing.
Yeah, they just march to
Dude,
their
the
death.
wall,
That was-
Pink Floyd's The Wall.
That was one of the most incredible scenes.
Yeah.
That was.
And the other thing that's interesting about all that whole sequence is the camera shots of just sort of static of the working people, and they're dying and like being in pain and so on. And it's only when the shot is of what's his name, the main guy.
Hold on, I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
I don't even know.
Frida?
Whatever the main guy's
Yeah,
name
Frida.
is. The shot of the main guy, when he starts going, whoa, whoa, the camera starts going like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's because he is human and has passion, and the working class have lost it. But the also interesting thing that the movie is saying is it's not just the working people who are no longer human. It's also the bourgeois, I guess, but the richer people who, when that woman is remade into the robot version.
Maria.
Yeah, she's held up, and we saw like, you know, we thought it might be a racist thing. It might still be a racist thing by like the black people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I think a more interesting interpretation is to think of them as the same way as the working people who are wearing dark clothing. And she's obviously being held up by those people who have lost their humanity. And then all of the rich people come and like throw their hands around her, right? And they're also all wearing dark clothing. And I think it's sort of maybe portraying them also as like having lost their humanity. And they're all slaves to this sort of technology thing, industry, I guess.
Like advancement.
Yeah.
Progress.
Yeah.
Well, what was I going to say about... I can't remember.
You fuckwit.
I've had a crazy...
God damn, dude.
Yeah. It's been a rough one, gents.
This guy forgot how to podcast, bro.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
dead ass, bro.
Dude, I think we should be more professional.
I remember what I was going to say. My awe for this film stems more from its production and the context in which A, it is created, but then B, how we've come to see it now,
Yeah.
in the sense that it was thought lost,
Yeah.
than the film itself. Because the context of, okay, Germany, crippling depression, fucked up country, cool. Film, pretty straightforward.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty nice.
Pretty awesome stuff.
But it's
Germany.
it's industry leading sort of film. It is beyond its years far, 20 years or so. You know, I look at Citizen Kane, and that's one of the greatest films of the 40s, and this holds up. Sure, there's no text, and even though it's missing parts of the film as well, where then there's just title cards which say this happens here,
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
It works. It
I
works
think
really
also
well.
the Silver Globe did a better job of that.
Oh my god. Fuck.
See, on the Silver Globe had bits missing because it got fucking funding cut. Whereas this has shit missing because it was so good and so controversial and so ahead of its time that the Nazi Party was like, fuck this shit, burn it, essentially.
Well, I think
I actually feel like that screening of that movie was like violated me on a certain level. I felt like physically disturbed. Right on the
It
silver.
was a
globe.
strange film. Very strange film.
Man,
God.
I was trying to like it at the start so much.
Ditto.
It looked
Yeah,
nice.
I was
So
actively
hard.
trying to enjoy it. I was like,
Oh,
Because all the cinema wankers love it.
Some of this is
so sick. And then it was like, huh?
What did it say?
Every reduction to physiology is fascism of the soul.
Yeah, fascism of the soul, bro. That is one of the greatest lines in any movie.
Christ.
God damn, dude.
But this was considered lost for how long?
Yeah, a while.
A long time. It was
Don't
found,
remember, though.
found in
Dude,
Argentina.
Metropolis
Go figure,
is
right?
communism of the soul.
It was
Germany of the soul.
Yeah.
it was found in Argentina, but not for the reason everyone thinks of. Oh, the Germans went to Argentina
Yes.
after World War II. It was this dude went to Germany after it came
Yeah.
out, thought this shit was sick, and just took it back to a cinema in
That is pretty
Argentina.
awesome.
And that's where it was found, in a cinema in Argentina,
Yeah,
not in some former Nazi party's basement.
yeah.
It was such a
They had other things in their basement. Okay, my bad. My fault. Moving on. Damn, dude, that really bombed so bad. Jesus.
Because there was no fucking connotation to what you were saying.
Yeah,
Like, what were we supposed to think was in the basement?
Well, they're a Nazi. What else would they have
Nick
in their
Cage.
basement?
Nick Cage was in the basement.
No, dude. Are you... Wait. I can't tell if he's...
I'm just taking the piss, bro.
Okay. Oh, no, I think you're going to make me have to say it, dude. I'm like, no, damn it. Damn it. Anyway, moving on swiftly from that.
Say it.
I apologize, guys. I realized that wasn't funny, but, I had the impulse. Back to
my
Metropolis. Back to Metropolis.
Sounds like your apology video, bro.
Hang on, I need to do that.
I had the impulse.
Are you gonna do a
I need to do that. Wait,
apology?
pause. I need to go. And then I do my apology.
I never thought I'd be having to make
you
this
go.
video.
First of all, you
I thought I
guys
was
mean
better than this.
you guys mean the world to me.
I appreciate your support.
your support means everything to me.
Mr. Beast. Video.
I'm not a racist, I swear.
You seen that video?
Yeah, the guitar thing. Oh my god,
Oh, God.
so good.
man.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, Metropolis, bro, absolute cinema indeed.
Yeah.
Absolute.
I
cinema.
unfortunately, I feel like I don't have much to say about it, just because I didn't do much thinking about what it has to say.
We
Apart
did
from
have
the fact
some-
it's like, oh, we should take down the oppressive people in charge and
Yeah.
establish a more, I don't know.
I don't think it's the story itself that's what makes it special.
No,
for sure.
not at
It's
all.
just the technical achievements.
It's what it does for cinema.
Yeah, what it was able to do. Because it's an epic.
Much like the Robot Maria is held up by the slaves, cinema is held up by Metropolis.
Well, definitely science fiction cinema for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't think there is a sci-fi movie that's not been helped by this. Because even her fucking having the human skin on the robot, she's literally a Terminator. Like, fuck.
I would have loved to see it in cinema.
it would've been
I think that's what would have made this, a step above what I'm currently picturing it as. Because I was on my couch in my room with you two.
Yeah.
And it was on a website that had ads every 17 minutes because
I forgot about that.
High Movies was buffering.
Yep.
It was on a TV which wasn't the greatest.
Yep.
You see that in a massive screen with great speakers
Yeah.
and comfy ass chairs.
Yep.
And then I think it becomes one of the best films sort of ever. Not one of the best films ever. One of the most important films ever is probably.
Yeah.
I think it still is, but it would have been more enjoyable.
I feel
in that
similar.
context.
Like I enjoyed this probably more than that movie, Man with a Movie Camera. But
See, I haven't seen
I
that.
feel the same about this than I do about that. It's more I appreciate it rather than actually say I had fun.
Yeah.
Like I had more fun in Deadpool than I had in this, but like I appreciate this and I thought about it longer than I thought about fucking Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ratings, guys? Do we want to go to ratings?
I
yeah,
think it's probably a good idea.
I'm
Bowie can start.
go for it.
I'm going to give it an 8.
Ditto.
Yep.
Boom.
3-8.
Let's go.
Where are you going?
Oh,
Where are you
wait.
going?
No, I said yep.
Oh,
Eight.
Yeah,
no,
okay, I
3-8.
thought so.
If it was in a cinema, I reckon I could have been swayed for a 9
Yeah.
quite
Just-
easily.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Because that's the border I'm on. I'm not a 7-8. I'm an 8-9 border. But 8, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Watch
It's been
it.
a fucking rough podcast.
Don't be a guy who hasn't watched it. Yeah, God.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, this has been our mission,
The
dude.
cancelable episode.
This
It's
is
been a big Monday, everybody.
God damn, dude.
You can see it. Oh my god, the guy's eyes, bro.
Well, we've been at uni.
I've been in uni.
He was
all
12
day.
to 7. I was 10 to
I got
6.
here. I got here before that though. I got here at like.
I was 2 to 5.
11.
Yeah, there you go. Average film student.
Nah, the average film student day is like an
No,
hour.
don't have it. There.
It's just
Go home.
not on campus.
Watch
bro.
Paris,
It's
Texas.
just filming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a movie today. I was at
Go in,
Which
get
film?
go in, get attendance, go home.
Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Gotcha,
what it was.
gotcha.
But no, the actual long days, you're not actually at uni. That's when you have a long day. If you say, hey, I'm not actually at uni at film school, that means fuck, you're actually working. You actually got some shit happening if you're not there.
Oh, what's your letterboxd?
Yeah, they asked for that instead of the Instagram, bro.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty cooked.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Well, so next episode, we are going to be doing some other films. Not like they're going to be interesting, but it is kind of nice how it's lined up because next episode is episode 19. So episode 20
Is a banger.
is a fucking banger because we're going to do Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis and Joker. So 2 big movies. Next time, we're going to be doing I Saw the TV Glow, which has been a really popular A24 film, so I'm keen for that. And The Substance.
The Substance, starring, Margaret Qualley and Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
That's actually one I've had on my watch list for a couple months now because I saw its trailer.
Yeah.
I wasn't at Cannes, but I saw it when it came out at Cannes. And I'm very much looking forward to that.
It's like a body horror thing. So it should be cool.
Yep.
And then I have a pick. So this is what I'm going with.
I'm interested here.
I have really wanted to start watching the films of John Cassavetes.
Oh.
And his wife, he died fucking ages ago, but his wife, Gina Rowlands, just passed away like a week or so ago. And so I feel like it's apt to watch a film that she was in that he directed. So I'm going to pick Opening Night. Directed by John
Excellent.
Cassavetes.
Awesome. Had that on my watch list for ages.
1977. I know Bowie has. I would have picked A Woman Under the Influence because it's more
Already seen
popular,
it.
but Bowie's seen it.
That was a good movie.
But I haven't seen any of his stuff, so I'm picking that. I'm probably going to try and watch a couple of his other movies, like Woman Under the Influence, before Opening Night, because that was one of his later ones. But I've heard it's a fucking banger, and yeah, interested in his movies, interested in Gina Rowlands, because I don't really think I've seen too much of her.
Weren't ballsy enough to go for the documentary?
No. Because no.
Nick texted me saying, thoughts on me picking a documentary?
No. I don't think so.
Fair enough. It would ruin
Which
the
one's the
structure.
documentary?
Yeah, what was that going to be?
I'll tell you after.
I can't tell us on.
No.
Oh,
Show up?
right. I realized it was. I thought you meant it was a Cassavetes thing. He had done a
No.
documentary.
No. Shower? No, what the fuck? It's like 8 hours, bro. What the fuck? No.
Satan Tango one day.
I mean, it was really interesting. I mean, actually, we'll just talk about this because this is a really short episode, so we may as well just keep talking for a sec.
This poor guy suffering.
I'm good.
I was just going to say that Saint Tango and there's that War and Peace. That War and
Yeah,
Peace movie.
the Tolstoy adaptation.
Yeah, been really interested in Saint Tango. Really interested in doing an episode on them. Is that conceivable
We could do it for Incognito, but I'm not doing that while we're at uni.
Yeah, give it the summer holidays.
for Incognito? You reckon? Oh yeah, because we could just watch it.
One off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because what's interesting, just so quickly, is that War and Peace thing is on the Criterion Channel. They've actually they've split it up into 4 episodes, so you can.
So we could watch Fanny and Alexander how it was supposed to be watched.
Correct. Well, they have that version. As well.
no,
but yes,
It's digestible.
it's digestible.
Is the movie like split up into different parts? Is that why they did it that way, or is it just because it's long?
No, it's just because it's long.
Okay.
And so you can. They don't actually have a version where it's the 7 hours in one hit. You have to watch it in parts.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all. That's just a little add-on conversation. You're welcome, guys.
See you guys.
Thanks for
See you in
listening.
the next episode. And yeah,
Nice.
sorry if this episode was a little, but
Controversial, bro.
such is life.
Hey, there's
Fuck.
always going to be some B movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the B episode.
Hopefully, these cunts will have had more fucking sleep and shit
dude.
next episode.
Oh, we recovered by
They'll
next
be a bit
time.
more vital.
Yep. All right. See ya.
Nice.